Welcome to my channel, Knitting for Baby. Thanks for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to knit this hat for adults. It's the fern stitch hat in the round. It's absolutely beautiful and very easy to make, so I hope you like it. Now stay tuned for the baby version. At the end of this tutorial, I give you a little peek of those hats, so I hope you like them. Okay, let's get started, and thank you for watching. Okay, to knit this hat, I'll be using these 5.5mm circular knitting needles. These are 16-inch. Now you can also use longer needles and just use the magic loop technique to knit this hat in the round. I'll be using these shorter needles. Now the yarn that I'm using is this one here. This is a bulky number 5 yarn. You can also use chunky or 12 ply. I'll leave the name of this yarn down here in the information box. So here to begin, the first thing that we need to do is we need to cast on our stitches. I need to cast on a total of 100 stitches. Now I'm going to show you how to cast on your stitches using the long tail cast on. So here to begin, I usually put both needles like this together, but since my wire is too short, I'm going to add this other needle here like this. The first thing that we need to do is we are going to wrap the yarn around both needles like this 20 times. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now we have enough yarn here for about 20 stitches. Like I said, we need to do 100. So we're going to double this up. We have enough for 40. Double it up again. We have enough for 60. Double it up again. We have enough for 80, and double it up again. We have enough for 100 stitches. Now I like to add a little bit more just in case, so I'm going to add about that much. Make a loop here, and now we're going to insert both needles like this. Now I like to use 2 needles here because the first row here is nice and loose. It's not too tight. We don't want the brim to be too tight around the forehead. So this creates a nice loose first row. Now this here is coming from the yarn that we just measured, and this is coming from the skein. Now to cast on our stitches, insert your index finger, open the yarn, hold the yarn here, and we're going to go from left to right, and we're going to grab a loop like this. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Continue until you have 100 stitches, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished casting on my stitches. This is all the yarn that I had left over. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to carefully pull that second needle. Make sure you don't lose your stitches. And now we're going to start with the first row. Now we're going to make sure to have the working yarn here on the right hand, and we're going to join to the first stitch by knitting it. So here's the first stitch. We're going to knit the first stitch like this. And now we're joined. Now for the brim here, I'm going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. So the next stitch I am going to purl. Next one I'm going to knit, purl, knit, and purl. That's all I'm going to do. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 all around this first row. So continue, finish this first row, and I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row. Here's my last stitch. Make sure that your last stitch is a purl. Now if for some reason you have a knit somewhere along this first row, you either have 2 knits or 2 purls. So you need to go back and fix it. Now for the second row and up to row 15, you're just going to repeat the same thing. You're going to knit and then purl, knit, and purl. That's all we're going to do here. So continue. Let's finish making the brim of the hat. I think I'm going to do 15 rows. Continue watching. I'll let you know if I do 15 or less. I want my brim here to be nice and wide, and then we're going to do something so that the brim folds, but I'm not sure how many rows I'll do for the brim here. So continue watching. You'll see how many rows I've done, and all we're doing is knit one, purl one, knit one, purl all around. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, so far I have done a total of 12 rows here. This part is measuring almost 2.5 inches. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I want my brim to fold, so I'm going to make mine like this. I'm going to make a couple rows here so that my brim automatically folds and stays folded like this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this next. If you don't want your brim to fold, then just go ahead and skip this part and go to the part where we're going to do the rest of the hat. But for me, I'm going to do the following. So I have 12 rows here. What I'm going to do for a total of 3 rows is I'm going to slip the knit stitches and purl the purl stitches. Slip the knit stitch and purl, slip, purl, slip, and purl. And that's all I'm going to do, like I said, for a total of 3 rows. Continue like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this first row to show you how you're going to do the next 2 rows. I'm here at the end of this first row where we slipped the knit stitch and purled the purl stitches. So now for rows 2 and 3, you're going to do the same thing. Slip the knit stitch and purl. Slip the knit stitch and purl. Just wanted to show you here again how you're supposed to do the next row. So slip, purl, slip, purl. So continue and finish these 2 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making these last 3 rows. This is where we slipped the knit stitches and purl the purl stitches. Now we're going to now knit the knit stitches and then purl. Knit, purl, knit, and purl. This here is the same thing we did for these 12 rows. So we're going to now make 10 rows. And this is all we're going to do. Now, I would put a stitch marker here to mark this first row. That way we can tell where to count these 10 rows. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put one there. So all I'm going to do is just knit and purl, knit and purl. Okay, so continue like this. Let's do these 10 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, we're almost done with the brim. Now here I went ahead and did 10 rows. So we did 3 here in the middle to create the crease here so that the hat can fold, and then I just did 10 rows. We're going to make one more row here for the brim, and this is so that the stitches are all facing in the same direction so that we can start our pattern in the next rows like this. That way all of these stitches are all facing in the same direction. Okay, continue like this for this row, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this last row where we knit all around. Now all of our stitches are facing the same direction. Now, just to recap, we did a total of 12 rows here for the bottom. Then we did 3 rows here where we slipped the knit stitch and purl the purl stitch. So we did 3 rows, and then here I did 10 rows after that, and I just finished with this 11th row where we knit all around. Now we're going to start our pattern. Here, this is the stitch that we're going to use. This is the fern stitch. Now this little hat here is for little girls. If you want to see this tutorial, just click the little lamb down here next to my channel name, and it'll take you to my main channel page. Now this hat here is worked in rows, and then at the end we just seam here on the side. Now, the one we're going to make here, it's going to be done in the round, so there's not going to be a seam there. So it's going to look absolutely beautiful. I already did a baby hat and I love it. So here, before we start, we're going to put a stitch marker. This is going to mark the beginning of each row. Now, this pattern here consists of repeating 4 rows for each one of the repeats. Each one of the repeats is this here. So from here to here to here to here, these are the repeats. So we're going to start with the first row to the first repeat. Now we're going to knit 5. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, you're going to knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. If you notice, the stitch multiple here is multiples of 10. Now, again, repeat. Knit 5, 4, 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is how you're going to continue for the rest of this first row for this first repeat. Continue, and I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row for the first repeat. I have my last 5 stitches. These last 5 stitches, we are always going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now pass your stitch marker. Now for the second row to the first repeat, this is what we're going to do. We're going to knit 5. It's the same thing we did in the first row. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. You're going to continue and do the same thing. Knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Continue to the end of this second row for the first repeat. Okay, I finished making the second row of the first repeat. Here at the end, like I said, these last 5 stitches, we always purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now pass your stitch marker. In the third row, this is what we're going to do. This is where we create the 2 little holes here. So to do this, we have the next 5 stitches. 1 and 2, you're going to knit 2 together. You're going to yarn over, knit the third stitch, and then you're going to remove these 2 stitches like this. Okay, put them back on the needle. Here we're changing the direction of these stitches like this. Now you're going to yarn over and then knit 2 together through the back. Make sure that when you do this, you pull your yarn so that this yarn over that we did here is not too big. Now we're going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now these here separate each one of the motifs where we do the yarn overs. So right now we're right here. So these are the ones that are always going to be done in the same way. Purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now again, we have the next 5 stitches. Stitch 1 and 2, you're going to knit 2 together. You're going to yarn over, knit the third stitch, and now stitch 4 and 5, you're going to remove them from this needle, and you're going to bring them to this needle, and we're going to put them back to the needle here, but like this, through the back, insert the needle. This changes the direction. Now you're going to yarn over, and then knit 2 together through the back like that. Now again, we have the purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, we have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the next stitch, remove these next 2 stitches like this, and put them back like this, yarn over, knit 2 together. Don't forget to yarn over before you knit two together, make sure that you pull your yarn here so that this yarn over here is not too big. So now purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Okay, let me show you one more time. We have the next 5 stitches. You're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the next stitch, remove these 2 stitches, put them back like this through the back, insert the needle. Now yarn over and knit 2 together through the back. And that's all we're going to do. Continue like this all around, and I'll meet you at the end of this 3rd row for this first repeat. Okay, I finished making the 3rd row to the first repeat. Now we're going to pass the stitch marker here. Now row 4, 1 and 2 are exactly the same. So we're going to knit 5, 1, 2, here's the yarn over, 3, 4, and 5. Notice how big this hole is. So what you need to do is just pull this and then knit, and that's going to help. Now we're going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This part here is always the same. Now again, we have the next 5 stitches. We're going to knit 5. Here's that yarn over. For some reason for me it turns out big, so all I do is just pull here and knit. See, and that helps. Now we're going to purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. So this here is basically the same thing as row 1 and 2, like I mentioned. So very easy stitch. Again, knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is how you're going to continue for this 4th row to this first repeat. Continue and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished the 4th row and this completes the first repeat. Now I'm going to show you one more repeat, so this is going to be the 2nd repeat. For rows 1, 2, and 4, remember I just said you repeat the same thing. You knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. This is how you're going to continue for this first row to the 2nd repeat, and you're also going to do the 2nd row to the 2nd repeat. It's exactly the same way. Knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Continue, finish row 1 and 2, and I'll meet you back to show you the 3rd row to this 2nd repeat. Okay, I finished rows 1 and 2 for the 2nd repeat. Now again, we're going to repeat row 3. This is where we do the 2 little holes. So to do this, we have the next 5 stitches. We're going to knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the 3rd stitch. Now here you can yarn over or do this SSK stitch. You're going to slip, slip, and then put them back into the needle like this, yarn over, and then knit 2 together. Now we have the next 5 stitches, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Okay, here we have the next 5 stitches, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit the next stitch, and then here we have the next 2 stitches, S, S, that means slip, slip. Now put them back on the needle like this, yarn over, and then knit through the back. Now we purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1, remove these 2 stitches, put them back facing the other direction on this needle, yarn over, and knit 2 together through the back. This is all we're going to do for the third row. Continue and finish this third row for the second repeat, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished this third row for this second repeat. Pass your stitch marker, and now here we're going to do the fourth row. For the fourth row, we're going to knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Again, we have the next 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then again purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Remember that this fourth row is the same as row 1 and 2, so row 1, 2, and 4 are exactly the same. You knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Continue for this fourth row to the second repeat, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished the second repeat. Here at the end, as always, we purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. Now, from here on, you're going to continue and repeat these 4 rows. Remember that row 1, 2, and 4 are exactly the same thing. You always knit 5, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. And then in the third row is where we do the yarn overs. Now, I'm not sure how many repeats I'm going to do. So far, we have 2. Continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many repeats I'm going to do. So continue, and I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I'm almost done with the hat. I have done a total of 9 repeats. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just completed the last row for the 9th repeat. Now it's measuring from the top here to the bottom with the brim folded. It's measuring about 8 inches, which is about 20 centimeters. Now what we're going to do here is I'm going to make row 1 and 2 of the 10th repeat. I'm not going to do the row of yarn overs. I'm just going to do the first 2 rows. So here we're going to knit 5. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Then purl 2, knit 1, purl 2. That's how I'm going to work this next row, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the second row to the 10th repeat. Now after we finish this, we're going to start to reduce. If you want to make this a bit more longer, make it more like a slouchy style hat, you can. I'm just going to leave it like this. I think it's fine with the size that I have right now. I'm just going to close after I finish these 2 rows. So continue, make these 2 rows, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to close the top of the hat. Okay, I finished making these last 2 rows, so now we're going to start to reduce here. Now, what I'm going to do is we have the next 5 stitches. I'm going to knit 2 together, then I'm going to knit 1, and then I'm also going to knit 2 together. Here. Now we have the next 5 stitches. I am going to, let's see, knit 2 together also. Knit 1, knit 2 together. And then again, we have the next 5 stitches. We're going to knit 2 together through the front. I forgot to mention the last 2 that we knit 2 together, I knit 2 together through the back. I'll show you again. So here, knit 2 together through the front, knit 1, and then knit 2 together through the front here. And then the next 5 stitches, knit 2 together through the back, like this. Knit 1, and then knit 2 together through the back. Again, knit 2 together through the front, and then knit 2 together through the front, like this. Now we have the 2 purls, the knit, and the 2 purls. We're going to knit 2 together through the back, knit 1, knit 2 together through the back. That's all I'm going to do all around this first row reduction. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished the first row reduction. I have 60 stitches at the end of this first row. So now for the second row reduction, what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit 3 together, like this. Then knit 3 together through the back. If it's hard for you, then you can do knit 2, and then you would have to make another row. Here I'm just going to continue knit 3 together, knit 3 together, all the way around. Now there's no right or wrong way of doing this. The important thing is that it looks nice. And to me, I've done this before this way and I think it looks fine. And then knit 3 together again. I'm going to go over here, insert my needle. Oops. And knit 3 together. Continue like this for this second row, and I'll meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished the second row reduction. I have a total of 20 stitches at the end of this row. Now I'm going to reduce for one more row. I know this is going to be hard, especially if you're using these shorter needles, but I'm going to attempt to do the magic loop technique here. So just pull one of the needles and we're going to go all around, knit 2, knit 2, knit 2. So like this. I did it before with another hat, so I'm pretty sure we can do this. So knit 2 together through the back like this. All around. Continue for this third row, which is the final row reduction. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished this third row of reduction. I have 10 stitches at the end of this row. Now what we're going to do here is I've already cut my yarn and I left a nice little tail here, because now what we're going to do is we're just going to remove these stitches here. This is where I finished. Let's see, I'm gonna pull a loop here. Perfect. So I'm just going to come here and take these stitches off. Now we're going to pull this needle here and push it. And remove these last 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now hold on to this loop here. We're going to go like this, and that's going to create a little knot there when we close our hat. And that's what it looks like. Perfect. Now insert the needle through the center here. And you can just go around one more time, reinforce this yarn here all around, make sure that it doesn't open, and then just tie a little knot. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm just going to tie a knot somewhere here. Oops. Perfect. And then cut the yarn, and the hat is done. I just need to hide this end here as well. So let me show you how we're going to do this too. Let's see, I'm going to go here and here again. Now make sure that you hide this on the inside. So go back through there again. And we're going to go here. Let's go here instead. Like this. A couple stitches up this way. And then go down the opposite side. And that's should be enough. go up 1 stitch again, and we're going to cut our yarn here. Pull this a little bit and cut the yarn. See, you can't see it. Now fold it, and here's our finished hat. I absolutely love the way that this hat fits on me. It's perfect, and I absolutely love this color here. This yarn, it's the Scarfie yarn by Lion Brand, and this is in the color pink silver. Very surprised by this yarn. It's absolutely beautiful, and here's the hat. Look how nice that looks. I love that stitch. Here's the top. Perfect. Now all we need to do is put a little pump on like this. I think that's what I'm going to do. Now stay tuned. I have the baby hat version. Look how adorable these are. Here's the matching little mittens. I'll go ahead and share this with you all as well. It did one for boy and for girl. They look absolutely adorable. So stay tuned for these tutorials, or maybe if you click the little lamb down here next to my channel name, check my main channel, see if these tutorials are already up in my channel. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.